it's awesome that there is that much depth and substance and you've thought about it. But when you're talking to people about it, and like you only get one first impression, and for most of the time you only get one first impression, and like usually have like 5 or 10 seconds to hook people in and get them interested. Hello and welcome to another episode of ZenAcademy Mentorship. This is episode 4, and I'm thrilled to be back again with Christina, my co-host. And today we are here with Chiara from Doris is Not Meat, a project with an absolutely wonderful mission and vision. And we're going to get into the pitch and all of that. And hopefully Christina and I will give some advice and guidance, and we'll have some back and forth. We'll have some fun. We'll get into all of it. Chiara, welcome. How are you?
I'm good. First, I want to say thank you, Zeneca and Christina, for having me. It means a lot to me and to a lot of the people in this world of the rescue dogs. And also, I want to apologize for my accent, which might not be always clear. So
please do not. You have a great accent, and your English is fantastic.
And we are a global community, so
yes,
yeah,
exactly. We're all over the place. So yeah. So I'd love if you just tell us a little bit more about yourself and your sort of background before we get into the pitch. Sort of, how did you get into crypto and NFTs and Web3, and what did you do before? And who are you?
So I am Italian, as I said. I live in China currently for the last 15 years. I don't look very old, but I'm kind of am. I have started getting into NFT and crypto maybe seriously like a year ago. Really loved the space because I always felt that was a way for people to have a little bit of a hope. And this is something that I think it's special and it's very powerful. There's a lot of people in the world right now that they just don't see the light at the end of the tunnel in a way. And I think this is giving them people like a little bit of a opportunity to dream. And I guess that's kind of my story, like I come from the advertising agency world. I work in a tech company for a mobile phone brand, and just the usual person. But I love dogs. Dogs have been mean a lot to me. They really saved me in difficult times. I had a very big operation, and I was I had a tumor, and I was stuck with COVID in China. I had no family here. And I just got all I had was those dogs, and they made me wake up every morning because I had to take care of them because they were rescued, so they were really broken. So I don't know who saved who, but I like to think that they saved me first. And so Doris actually is the story of my dog who unfortunately didn't make it. She comes from the meat market, and so this project is dedicated to her and to all the dogs that have not had the opportunity to have a second chance in life. And so I'm sorry, I feel emotional asking about Doris because
I'm feeling emotional as well. Yeah.
Me too. I have goosebumps.
But so it's I feel this space, the world of NFT, even more than crypto, but I think crypto as well, it's just a place for redemption. So I'm very grateful that I'm part of. I can witness this moment in time, and I know everybody talks about it. There are disruption points, and this is one of that. And it's not much about the technology, I think, but it's about the opportunity that gives to people to have a second chance in life. A little bit like the dogs, when they get rescued. I think this is that place where if you haven't coming out from a big university or you don't have a cool job or wherever, you can still make it, and that's it's cool. I like it.
That's thank you so much for sharing. That's what a wonderful background and just entryway into sort of leading us into your project. Doris is Not Meat. Maybe I'd love to learn more, and maybe I'll hand it over to you to take us through. You've prepared a pitch, and
sure.
If we could do that'd be great.
Let me share my screen. So my name is Chiara. I am the co-founder and the CEO of Doris Was Not Meat. Uh, as I just said before, there was a moment in time where I wasn't able to receive much help, and I was very vulnerable. I was very depressed, and lots of bad things were happening. And so I decided to focus on helping the dogs, those dogs specifically were from the meat market, and those dogs saved me. This is something that I don't think I need to explain and talk too much about it, because I think pretty much everyone knows that dogs do help people, like in any ways, like normal people, people with mental health, people that are vulnerable. And there's me saying that, and I am the living proof, but it's also lots of research out there. So there is likely a lot of people I learned that love dogs as much as I do, and I'm sure other people do. But those people are different. They really do commit everything they have, the time, the love, the money. So this in these pictures there is Xiao Qi, like she's one of our rescue partners. She lives in Chongqing, and she's wonderful. And but no matter how much she gives, she never have enough, because there's too many dogs and not enough money. And when we looked at the industry of the NGO in general, like social investment is rising, which is great, right? Somehow animal shelters and the dog shelters are left behind, and really there's too little for them. And so this is where we come, and this is a big idea. That's where Doris wants to come in and try to make a difference. So it's a very simple, but we believe strong mission we have, and it's to support people like Xiao Chu, like these people who, have too much pressure, financial pressure, and we want to relieve these people from this pressure. We want to have our Web3 community to give them the financial support that they need, so they can do what they need to do, and they can do best, which is love it, the dogs, rescue them, and ultimately rehome them. And the way of doing that is a pretty simple, which is a play to rescue to earn model. So how would that work? It's simple again. It's to put one real dog to an NFT. So what we would do, we would to give people the opportunity with a very simple and cheap enough, subscription, the opportunity to support those real dogs in a real life and give them the basic needs, like we talk about $10, to give them the food, the shelter, the vet cares that they need to be strong and healthier and happier, so that they can be rehomed, they go to a real family. Once that happens, these people the people that bought this NFT would have then the opportunity to mint this NFT, which has not been minted yet, and make it into a companion, bring home a companion, a real companion dog. Now, this dog, obviously, it's a special dog, because it can be with its owner anywhere, everywhere, including the metaverse. So that is kind of like, in a nutshell, the idea. We have the ambitions of raising $1 million for 2,000 dogs for now, and we believe there is a lot of people in this Web3 wonderful community that loves dogs, but maybe not enough time to really, be down the street to feed them and help them and, rehome them. So I'm sure though they would like to do and give a little bit of contribution. So we would allow to do that, and together, use this blockchain technology, as a way for them to earn some fun, a companion dog, and for those dogs to earn a second chance in life. We will eventually, unlock some values, or I would say a lot of value from our partners, because we will build these ecosystems around the shelters of people that can offer services and products that will make the overall experience a much better one, for the shelters, for the people that are adopting the shelter, but also for the people that we have the companion dogs in the metaverse. So it's a win-win. And of course, like, it's been a year now, I think, that we have been working on this project. We feel we have a strong idea. We means the team, and we have a strong team here, lots of different expertise, and we are all pretty old. No, very experienced, I should say. And so we really believe that with a play to rescue to earn model, we can support those volunteers and those shelters, and we can save a lot of dogs.
Yeah, really good. I really enjoy the fact that you brought your personal story into the project. I think that just goes another level, deeper level into the mission. So that's a great point. Another thing is that you are reinventing the NGO business model, which is so amazing. Um, Something that I also liked is that you wrote there the persona, the ideal target market, and who he is and what he likes to do and how we like to contribute. So that's amazing. Something that maybe I would go just a bit deeper is how you connect the name of the project to the mission, and by that I mean. Um, do the dog lovers rescue dogs? Not all of them, right? Like we love dogs, we like to be with them and pet them, but we don't really go and rescue them. So then I would just go more deeper into what the dog feels and what the position the dog is. You mentioned the meat market, so I would add that as well. So the audience feels the pain even deeper, like it's it's amazing the mission that you want to help these people to take care of the dogs, but also the ultimate is the dog, right? So that's something that I wanted to touch on. And
Yeah,
yeah.
thank you. It's
Yeah.
a good point, and yeah, it is a good point because ultimately, there is a lot of the complexity in this world. Unfortunately, there is a lot of scams. There is a lot of trusting issues, and so for us, what we wanna we want to get to it's obviously facilitate the people that are helping the dogs, but ultimately like we want to have as many happy dogs as we can in this world. So yeah, that's the real final end goal.
Awesome. And I will have a question. When it comes to traction, do you have any traction? In which stage are you right now?
So we have 5 shelters that we are collaborating with. So because there is a lot of scams, unfortunately, a lot of people rescue those dogs, torture the dogs, and then try to get money out of social media, and then sells those dogs which have been tortured to the meat market at the end. So we are very very keen to make sure that whoever we're going to help in terms of shelters are legit, people we trust. And so first of all, we also don't have the money to help everybody. So we want to start small, but also we want to start with those we really, really trust. So Shaochu, which you have seen in that picture. So we have 2 shelters here in China, one in Thailand, one in Taiwan, and in one in Vietnam. Those ones are people we know personally. We know the shelters, we know the dogs. We know every time there is a new dog. Like it's obviously it's not yet scalable, but for us there is a criteria that we have put in place. So we have talked to a lot of NGOs. We have talked to the big guys, to the small guys, because we want to understand what are the bottlenecks, what are the pressure points. And we are now started our social media channel. So we have all our channel pretty much on. Besides for Discord, obviously we don't have, because until there is a community and an NFT in place, it's not much point. But we would like to start as soon as well. And and then we registered. So the biggest things is to be a legit NGO as well, because we stuck in China. I wouldn't say stuck, but we were in China. We locked down. We weren't able to fly outside of China. We registered in the Netherlands, the NGO, and we needed to sign some papers. So I was able to go to Europe just a month ago, and I'm just back now. And so that with that now we are registered, which means we can receive donations, and so we done, let's say, the admin of the background work. And now what we are getting ready is to do all the marketing part, to build a community. We are building a mobile game that it's which we are actually it's already been designed and it's being coded now, which is about the educational part of what it means to run a shelter, because you need to run a shelter. It doesn't just mean that you give the dog lots of love and the food, it's a whole economy. So how do you make money so that the shelter runs as a business and is independent, and it's as independent as it can be from the charity? Ideally, you want the shelter to sustain itself. So we're doing that. We're doing a lot of other little activations, and ultimately, trying to narrow down all the big brands, even that they could help us to just donate, because it's a lot of work, and I feel overwhelmed just when I talk about it. I'm like, "Fuck, we've got so much to do." So we've done a very small part, but we started.
Well, thank you for that answer, Chiara. Zeneca, I'm gonna let you take over.
Yeah. I mean, thank you for the presentation. It was really wonderful. I really like what you said, Christina, as well, about having the example of like the potential person who might be interested in something like this, and their sort of journey. And I think not enough of projects think about that, and who might actually be interested in it. So I think that's really excellent. And just overall, your mission is very admirable, and I think it's something that I think many people want to support and will support, and definitely blockchain technology can help support that as well. Have, I guess, questions or comments. I'm curious to know what the mechanics are of, like, if you're selling NFTs. Because you also mentioned there was like a monthly $10 a month or $5 a month. How do those two things work together?
Yeah, sure. So so every time there is a dog, so every time the shelter tells us that there is a new dog that's been rescued, that dog will have a NFT that will not be minted yet. So that will go into our platform or into OpenSea. You user Zeneca, I hope you'll be one of them. Will then
I
choose
will
a
be.
dog. Yeah, choose a dog, and you will then have to take care of this dog, right? So in a real world, so like with this little money, you will be able to give the dog, the food, the whatever the dog needs, until this you will have contact with the real shelter through us, and until this dog is it's strong enough. Now the final objective is not for the dog to be rescued, but for the dog to be rehomed, because we want these dogs to be happy and in families, like Christina was saying before. And so once the dog is rehomed, you, Zeneca, will be able to now mint that NFT. Now you have an NFT with you. That NFT then will become a companion dog, meaning that you will take this NFT up to the metaverse. So it's a artificial intelligent dog, and the dog will learn things with you, will be with you, will help you to overcome challenges in life, including psychological ones, or just go to watch an exhibition on the metaverse, and that is the interesting part of this for us. It's that it will push everybody to do good, because it will push you, Zeneca, to make sure that this dog has everything it needs to become strong, but it will push the shelter to find a home for those dogs. Because if the shelter, let's say, will rehome 50 dogs, right? We will give to this shelter perhaps like some localized advertising to push the shelter, or maybe we will be able to upgrade the shelter's, facilities within the shelter. So, we want everyone to win, including the shelters was put in a lot of work. And then, obviously not everybody wants to play, right? Because then once you have, you can resell. So if you have put more than $10 a month, so let's say that you now love your dog and you want to put more, right? So you might want the dog to have cool hairstyle, and I don't know, like maybe wants to have special training programs. Like every time you add money into the real world, you will get a badge. So this dog will increase its value when becomes an NFT. So your NFT value increases with the effort you put to this real dog. And so we are trying to create it. We think we have a strong mechanism that will, really incentivize everyone to do more for those dogs. And in a real world, in a utopia world, we want every dog to have an NFT, everybody to have a dog, and And then if you don't want to play, you let's say that you want your virtual dog because you want to be in a metaverse with your dog, with your companion dog to watch your exhibitions, wherever. You then have a special dog. We call it the angel dog, and this angel dog will be dedicated to all the dogs like Doris. So the dogs that have not made it, the one that unfortunately have passed, but they also deserve to be remembered. And those ones will be super dogs, and then they will be, and yeah. So there is a little bit of gamification, of course, but there is the main point we are trying to make here is that there is help that we need to give to the dogs. So whatever way we can do, find revenue streams for them, then the better.
No, I love it. I think there are a lot of moving parts. It's definitely a big ecosystem, but I think that there's something to it. There's some potential and there's some magic that, if and when it's properly figured out, it should work really, really nicely as just a different way of fundraising, I guess, for charity and for dogs. So if someone like how often or how frequently do you think there will be sort of dogs that will need, I mean, I imagine it's just that there's an endless amount, unfortunately, which is the sad part, or there's a lot. Will it be sort of like every week or every month you announce that these are the dogs that need support and then people come in and select them, or is it, how does that piece work?
Yeah, so if we focus on the meat market, meat trade, the way it works, that you don't know when you can find a truck. Unfortunately, there are trucks that they have, let's say, 300 dogs, right? We are connected with the shelter. So let's say the shelter calls us and say, okay, we got 300 dogs. The moment that we have the 300 dogs in the shelter, right, those 300 dogs will have pictures and will go into the open sea, but they're not yet NFT. So there will always be dogs for people at the moment because we've done the economics and the money. Well, with $1 million, let's say we have 2,000 dogs, but can be exponential. So our offense, we think that every 6 months a dog can be rehomed. So it takes usually that much time to make sure the dog gets better, it's mentally stable and strong enough, and then gets rehomed. So a user, we have 6 months to play with the dog to make it a super dog or a cool dog or whatever dog they want to make it, before this dog can go into a home and become a metaverse dog or a companion dog, or we haven't found a name yet, but anyhow. So it really depends. The answer is, we will, depends how much money we have, and depends how many shelters we are working with, but there is dogs coming in every day, unfortunately.
Yeah. And then if someone decides to adopt a dog or to like support a dog, and then they're paying monthly for that, are they paying with a credit card, or are they paying in crypto? How does that work?
Yeah, so this is very important to us, that they pay in crypto because of the trusting issue, and that's why we need a blockchain, actually. So we need to make sure that we know where the money goes, and so we would not even want to give the money to the shelter. We will give the money to whoever the money needs to go. Let's say, for example, the vet, because we want to decentralize a centralized system. So so if your dog, like some of my dogs that had broken legs, were stabbed and whatever, like I needed a lot of work, both psychologically that at the veterinary level. So we will pay with a crypto. We will pay with crypto directly into the vets. Now, vets might not have crypto wallets, and so that we will then turn that into fiat. But eventually the transaction has to happen on a blockchain through crypto to make sure that everything is legal, it's legit, that people know you can follow where this money goes, and there is track of everything, which is a big ambition, because we realized that from a from a admin standpoint, you need a big system, and it's not an easy thing. So we realized that, but we think that we don't want this to be a Web2 project. this is Web3. The reason why we need Web3, because we need to overcome the trusting issues first,
Mm-hmm.
and then we want to extend the experience of those dogs into special worlds like the metaverse is. So that's two components are important for us.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have any more questions. Maybe not for now. Maybe I'll hand it over to you, see if you have any questions for either of us.
I have a list. How much time
You came prepared. Perfect. I love it.
It's Christina's fault. She asked me to do home. Now I'm joking. We had
Honestly, it's great. Lists are great.
No, well, I only going to ask you like a couple because it's a long list. But I think the first
We'll
question.
get through as many as we can. Yeah.
Okay, great. So, first question is about a project like us, right? We are a charity. How do you finance these projects? Because like, of course, either like you can't go to a VC, or maybe you can, I don't know, but I guess no one wants to. I know this is a space where people wants to do good, but then ultimately, there's not that return per se. Maybe there will be a day when we will unlock all the services and products, our community. But for now, we will just want to do good, and we need to build the tech, like the AI dog, which is artificial intelligence. So there's a lot of work needs to be done. Where do we find those people that can be interested in supporting us, like as a philanthropist, is a Zeneca type, or Zeneca? No, I don't know. But really, where do we start?
Yeah, I mean, it is difficult, like you say, because generally VCs are not going to want to invest in something like this. I think crowdfunding, fundraising is a pretty reasonable option where you try and gather community support to help you build out your cause, and try and motivate or inspire others to join, whether by donating money, or maybe they can donate time and resources. Like maybe there are people who can help build out the AI app. On that note, actually, there is a project I heard about recently. I think it's called Digital Dogs. I think that they're doing something in the AI dog area. So maybe you could like partner with them or work closely with other projects, because there's also like there's quite a lot of, well, maybe not quite a lot, but there are a few other dog NFT projects, and I know that they support charities as well. There's Junkyard Dogs, there's Doge Pound. I'm sure that there's more. And so maybe talking to them and sort of tapping into their networks and seeing if they have a treasury where they can allocate money to stuff like this, and just gathering support basically as wherever you can. It also will come down to like how much are you looking to raise? Is it the $1 million you mentioned? Is that for the building of it, or is that how much you're looking to raise to support the dogs?
So yeah, there are two components. So the $1 million for us, it's the 80-20 ratio for the dogs. So 80 to the dogs, obviously, and the rest for the admin. But then we think collectively in a team that we need to build a community first. So that's where we would like also to raise money, because there is a lot of lots of, like you say, like like there is a lot of AI platforms that we don't necessarily know, but perhaps you can point us in the right direction. But we think that tech, it can be overcome by partnering with somebody that is already there, but the community needs to be built, and that needs money as well. And so we are funding this project with our own money for now, and there is a point where we can't afford to keep going, because so then to build a real community of people, even that want to offer the help, the time, the money, it needs also money. So that is where we don't know how to get that traction.
If I can add, there are almost all projects have the donation part, 10%, 5%, they want to donate to certain charities. So maybe you can partner with a project for you to get that money, so they can donate it to you.
Pre-launch, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking at my questions list, but I think you guys already answered a couple into one. So yeah, that's I think the next question would be synergies, right? Because I follow you, Zeneca, a lot, religiously almost, but you one of the what I learned from you is that to build a community, often you synergize with another community, and you come together, become stronger. Um, how do I find the affinity points? Because so many projects out there, and obviously everyone wants to do good, and which is great. And
Mm.
also you said lots of dogs and da. So what is the tactics or the way to approach a community to find that collaboration?
Generally, I think a few things. One is trying to find the projects and communities that align with your vision and your values. And um, there are going to be a lot. There are a lot of projects out there trying to do good. Um, but I would probably begin with the other communities that are trying to support dogs and do dog related activities. And then, but obviously, you want to expand, and your scope should be larger than that. And then it's trying to think about there are some communities whose mission is very clearly to be to do good or to do charitable things. On-chain monkey is one that comes to mind. I know that they have a very large charitable component. And then it's sort of expanding that to the projects that have kind of like Christina alluded to before. It's like a lot of projects have, and they want to allocate some money to giving to charity, and it's just about talking to anyone and everyone and just trying to build up connections and networking, and one by one building relationships and sharing your vision and seeing if there's interest. And um, that is a lot of it's kind of a numbers game, and it's like cold outreach, and it's reaching people. And I think in order to help that, it helps to have a very clear and streamlined message. And like, you don't want to DM someone and have like 7 paragraphs, and it's very easy for that to get glossed over. It's just like 1 or 2 sentences. Make your ask really simple, and tell them exactly what you're doing, and just see if there's interest. And then if there is, then you can have a deeper conversation. Yeah.
And another question, I guess, is like with the limited money and time that we all have, and what kind of like events or offline events where, or maybe not necessarily offline, that we can go to, as co-founders, or small potatoes in this world or whatever, like where we could make meaningful connections.
I think I think offline events are really powerful for making meaningful connections. And there's like literally every week there's like 2 or 3 crypto or NFT events all around the world, and they're happening. There's too
Not in
many of
China.
them.
Not.
Not in China, perhaps. Yeah, but in other parts of Asia there are. And yeah, certainly if you can travel a little bit further out, then definitely that there are there. Um, I would just start going to as many as you can, like reasonably. And I think that if you reach out to the organizers and explain what you're doing, I know I've spoken to many of them, and I think that they'd be pretty open to like free tickets. You don't have to pay for entry to the conference, and maybe you get a booth or an hour to talk, go up and share your vision with people, and then afterwards network and meet people. And I think it's a really underrated way of meeting people, and I think it's really powerful. And speaking of underrated ways to meet people, I think LinkedIn is phenomenal. I've been spending a lot more time there lately, and it's a great way to have meaningful connections with people in Web3. So um, yeah, just as many as
Okay.
cast as wide a net as you can, and as you have like the bandwidth to do. And it all comes down to being like a bit of a numbers game.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I do that. I'm just checking my list.
Mhm.
No, I think you have. Yeah, you and Christine have covered most of my question. I might reserve myself to send you an email if I
Yes,
come
of
up
course,
with it.
absolutely. Let me think. I have a couple more thoughts and comments. In terms of like Zen Academy and me and our stuff, I'd absolutely love to support somehow, some way, now or in the future. It's just like with Zen Academy, we definitely have a component is sort of just earmarked to charity and to supporting people and artists and creators, and just donating straight to charity. And so that's something that we're always going to have. And at some point, whether it's like this week or whether it's in 6 months or whenever, we'll just keep chatting. We can help and make support in some way. So that's definitely something that we want to do. And then the other thing is I guess more just like advice relating to the entire pitch and everything that I heard is it is a lot, and like there's, like I said, there's a lot of moving parts. There's the NFT, there's the monthly payments, there's the in real life component, there's the 5 different places, there's the trucks, there's the 6 months, there's the rehoming, there's the play to earn, and then there's the different types of NFTs, there's the metaverse. And it's awesome that there is that much depth and substance and you've thought about it. But when you're talking to people about it, and like you only get one first impression, and for most of the time you only get one first impression, and like usually have like 5 or 10 seconds to hook people in and get them interested. And so when you're thinking about your Twitter page, your Twitter profile, or like a DM that you might send someone, try and think of how you can distill, and it's really difficult, but like everything into like 1 or 2 sentences, and be like, all right, this is what we're doing. You know, where we're trying to save dogs in China from the meat market using blockchain. And I'm sure you can get something better than that. That was just off the top of my head, but like use plain English, and then be like, are you interested in helping? Or like, you know, make a clear ask, and have that. And then behind, like, if people want to learn more, then you can explain more. You can take them through the deck. You can, on the website, it has all the details. Maybe you have a white paper, all that kind of stuff. But this is something I see all the time. It's like awesome projects that people ignore or don't look at because it's too overwhelming to dig into first. So I would recommend like less is more, and simplifying it, and making a good first impression, or like a impactful first impression. It's kind of like storytelling 101. You want to hook people in with like the first line on the first page, so then they keep reading and turning, and yeah. So yeah.
No, it's a fair comment, and actually, I and the co-founder Ranjit, we've been thinking about how do we going to do this opening. We even thought to make a short video at one point, but then
I think that's a great idea. Honestly, I think videos, you know, whether it's a 15-second clip or a 2 to 3 minute video, or a 10-minute video, is really powerful, and infographics. And I think that like it's different people consume content in different ways. Some people like to read, some people hate to read, some people much prefer to listen, like watch a video. And so, yeah, I think that that's a really good idea. And you can get them done like literally go on Fiverr and find someone, and you can pay $100, $200 for a pretty decent video.
Yeah, I think that's you know, we all pretty much in the team come from you know, the tech and advertising world. So I think for me, visuals and storytelling are, you know, hand in hand. So I think put some time and money into that. It's a good way to tell the story. One last question. That if I don't ask, I think I'm going to get killed by my co-founder and the team, is like, which kind of competencies do you think we need in addition to who we are as a team, right? Because we go from marketing to tech, product, and creative, and finance with crypto experience. Is there anything else that you think we should think? Because obviously there is the legal aspect, you know, it's huge, and you know, I guess, I don't know, so many other things. Like, is it one thing that we need to look for to make us a stronger team?
I mean, I think with like legal stuff, that you can pretty easily outsource that, and you don't need anyone in-house to really generally think about that. I think communications is really important, and I mean, that could come under the marketing and advertising, and if you have someone who can handle that, but just sort of like general like PR communication, brand alignment, brand vision, culture, all of that sort of type of role is really, really important for building out and sharing your vision with the world, and having that like clear and cohesive message that is the same throughout. So like if you're on Twitter and tweeting, if you're in Discord and talking, if you're in real life at a conference talking to someone, your messaging is all the same. So people understand and resonate and know what you're doing. And it's just, you want to avoid that confusion. And so I don't know if that's a a specific role, or that's something that just everyone can do, or one person on the team already can do. But just having someone who understands the communication piece is, and it really does go very close hand in hand with marketing. It's like communication, marketing, it's all together. But I think it seems like you have a pretty well-rounded team. You've got like, I think it was five people with a lot of experience, 5 or 6 with lots of experience across a lot of domains. And yeah, it generally seems like you've got most bases covered. Yeah.
And if we need to find legal advice, or because there is so much complexity into this space now, like what is there is a best in class, or is there is a, I don't know, who do we outsource that if we had the money to talk to somebody?
So I've gone through the similar thing over the last 12 months. I've probably spoken to 10 different law firms all around the world, like literally from Hong Kong to Australia to Singapore to Dubai to America. It's like everywhere. And thankfully, like most of them, you can chat for like half an hour. You don't pay them. You just like, you have a call and see if they can help you, which is really useful to know. In terms of best in class, like that, there probably are a handful that are like S tier. Like Fenwick in America is like the one that Yuga Labs uses, and a lot of the big companies use for their legal stuff. But it's probably overkill. You probably don't need that. But it does sound like you would need someone who understands the international nature of it all, plus understands the China nature of it all, and it is going to be tricky, and like I don't know who, and as well as understand the blockchain and the Web3 nature of it all. There's a group, I think it's called Lobby 3. Let me just have a quick look. Oh no, sorry. What's it called? Maybe it's Web3. No, I know it's not Web3. There's a group of, it's basically professionals. So it's like accountants, it's lawyers, it's those types of people, and they've sort of come together in a community. And I'll find out exactly what their name is, and I'll send you a link. I think anyone can join the Discord and just ask them, and maybe they'll be able to point you in the right direction.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, that would be very helpful. Thank you. Just to for a point, it's like we don't want to be China focused because of the regulations.
Yeah.
We don't want to be seen as activists, because we are not really. We are people who loves dogs, right? So, and dogs are dogs, no matter where they are. So we started in Asia just because we are here, and so it's easier for us. But eventually, this is a global project. So yeah, I mean, I know in Italy, for example, they don't eat dogs; they don't torture them. So, or maybe they do. I don't know. But so yeah, it's like we want to be wherever there is a dog that needs to be safe. Yeah.
No, I love that. Yeah, well, I mean, still, all the more important, you'll need someone that understands all of the jurisdictions, the charity element. But hopefully, and I think that, yeah, once you mention that it is for charity and doing good, I think you might get a little more like free advice, I guess, or people will be happy to help a little bit. And then when it comes to an official capacity, maybe you can get some discounts. I mean, I don't know how the law firms are. There's pro bono stuff, and I don't know, but yeah, I'll send you some recommendations, and then hopefully you can take it from there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah, any more questions? Or Christina, do you have anything?
No, not really.
I think we're coming to the end. This has been just another wonderful episode of ZA Mentorship, and thank you so much for being here, Chiara and Christina, as always. This was a really special project, and I think it's clear that you're doing something meaningful and impactful, and it is emotional, like you said. It's I have a dog, I love her, and they're just simply the best. So however I can support and we can support, we will want to support you, and we'll continue the conversation. And maybe I just had an idea, like we should do follow-ups, I don't know, 6 months, a year from now, with these, we're talking to so many cool people on this show, we should bring them back on and see where things are going. So let's do that, Christina.
Really good idea.
Well, thank you, and have a wonderful day. Any last words?
No, thank you, Zeneca and Christina, and I just hope you can have a companion metaverse dog from us.
I would love that.
Yes, definitely.
I just remembered. We should mention if people are interested, like, how can they help you? How can they support? How can they find out more? Do you have like a website, Twitter? Where are the details? Well, yeah,
We have them all, and it's a simple name to remember. It's www.doriswasnotmeet.org, or on Twitter at doriswasnotmeet, Facebook, Instagram, same name. And my name is Chiara at doriswasnotmeet.org. So yeah, they can
amazing,
just I think Google us and LinkedIn. We're also there.
perfect. We'll have
We
all the links below.
as well. So thank you. Thank you so much. This is
Thank you as
really
well.
wonderful, and
Thank you.
awesome.